Hey.
Hello and welcome to the Starfall Collective Season 2, King of the Cloudy Sea, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure. I'm Matthew Talamini, your Dungeon Master. I'm a writer and web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island, and you can find my stuff at MatthewTalamini.com. That's Matthew, TALAMINI.com. With me are some of my college buddies, Sir Robert Burbridge, playing Weatherin, an elven paladin of Oberon. Say hi so people know who you are. Tell them
Hey.
where they can find your stuff.
I'm me, and you can find some stuff at thefarce.net, and some of the stuff I've been using to get thefarce.net getting ready at github.com/thefarce.
David Farrell, playing Tashash, or Gravy, a lizardfolk ranger. Say hi so people know who you are, and tell them where they can find your stuff.
Hi, I'm not Sir Robert, and you can find, I have a blog called 10,000 Reasons Why the MTG Multiverse is a Terrible Place to Live, and I have currently posted 237 of those reasons, and by the time this broadcast is over, I will have posted 238.
Dwight Canal, playing Fennetir, an elven cleric of Pon. Say hi so people know who you are. Tell them if they can find your stuff anywhere.
Hi, and I'm actually not a real person. I am a GPT-3 powered automaton. And no one has told me if they have found me.
It's
I challenged you all
thing. It's weird.
to find me, but
Slaggers.
I mean, I'm sure someone found me, but they didn't tell me.
I don't understand this joke at all. You'll have to explain it to me later. Joshua Sewage, playing Malmer, an elven warlock of Chernobog. Say hi so people know who you are. Tell them where they can find your stuff.
I'm saying hi, so you know it's me, Josh. I'll be taking my artificial intelligence creation, Dwight, with me onto the Artificial Intelligence podcast with Lex Friedman any day now, as soon as Lex Friedman gets back to me. And you can find my stuff all over the internet at jsuich, JSUICH. Specifically, I would suggest that you start with Reddit. And then if you really, really, really want to see my crap posting on Instagram, you could go there too. And what?
Crack?
Crack posting, like a,
Yes, I got it.
top
I got
notch.
it. Took me a second.
Like a Marine recon sniper.
I give a cock of the walk.
And you can find pictures of my leather gloves on Instagram.
That you drink water from?
And you'll be able to soon see an interview between me and my buddy Jeremiah on Bigfoot Society podcast, where I plug the Starfall Collective. So if you want to hear me talk about Bigfoot,
Cross-promotional.
Bigfoot and the supernatural, then keep your eyes peeled on Bigfoot Society podcast.
Cool. Josh, that leather glove thing was no kind of insult. It was from the Celebrity Jeopardy. You drink water from this, and then Sean Connery's a leather glove. It's just really good.
You should assume that if any of us say even the most heinous of things to each other, that no one is meaning to insult the other.
Right.
And you should also assume that if we say heinous things to each other, it's probably a reference to Celebrity Jeopardy as portrayed by Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
True.
The Kraken hunting cloud ship Fujin lies at anchor just off an island known as Nebulaster's Perch. Shaped like a wedge, its point juts out to the west over the empty, infinite chasm past the edge of the world. To the northeast is the ocean, and to the south, the cloudy sea, which is a huge, constantly shifting mass of levitating, interconnected trees and mist. Last episode, we left off in the middle of what could be called a tense situation. Let's describe the position of the characters who aren't involved first, so we can get them out of the way. Tashash leapt overboard into the cloudy sea at the invitation of some mysterious force a few episodes ago. What has become of him? We do not as yet know. The priest Fennetir followed Captain Gorio to a secret rendezvous with a green hag, where, Using his incredible powers of eavesdropping, he learned amazing and sinister revelations.
And lip reading.
Oh yeah, crazy lip reading powers.
Mm-hmm.
That scene, however, took about an hour after the ship landed to accomplish, since everybody walked half a mile or so west into the interior of the island, which was where the meeting took place. For the conflict that we're about to play through, though, it's only been 5 or 10 minutes since the ship landed. So, at the time when we rolled initiative, Fennetir and the captain had just passed beyond earshot, and if we do anything to disrupt their scene, we'll be facing temporal paradox, self-contradiction, and possible universe implosion. So Fennetir
Let's
and the
do it.
are off limits.
No. Implosion.
I spent most of my life trying to create a temporal paradox. Failing to do so is my greatest regret.
Oh boy,
It's true.
did I just authorize all of the Saturday Night Live jokes that you guys know?
Right.
It's a big paradox. That's why it's funny. Funny because it's a big paradox.
Get that off.
That's where the others are. I want to take a break because I made a mental note to do this, and then I forgot it because I was excited. But now I remembered it again. I want to give a shout out to
There we
Sir
go.
Robert, who was our DM
Mm-hmm.
last week while I was on vacation.
Thanks.
Did an excellent job. I was quite happy listening to it, and I can't wait until season 3 when he takes over on the longer form of an entire season.
He was neither English nor retarded and did very well.
I appreciate that.
What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Why would you say that?
Hey, I get that compliment like twice a week.
Oh, okay. Never mind. It apparently makes sense. I've slipped a little further from consensus reality, and the things that you guys are saying are making less and less sense.
Foucault would say the consensus reality is a prison.
It's very true.
Go
So
ahead.
it's
Until he got thrown into prison.
Go ahead.
The rails.
Coming onto the island, Weatherin and Malmer noticed a commotion. The Goose Knights, who are a gang of rowdy, goose-riding gnomes who had previously tried to steal from Fennetir and had one of their group killed by Malmer as a result, were partying loudly at the World's End Tavern, a building consisting only of a metal ceiling on 4 wooden poles, surrounded by junk and brewing apparatus. Agang, the barkeep, was trying to quiet them down, since 2 hill giants slept nearby. Woken, she said, they would be hungry and dangerous. When the Goose Knights recognized Malmer as the one who had killed their friend Cletus, they attacked him. But Malmer and Weatherin proved too strong, and they fled northwest from the bar, making it 60 feet before Mal shot the goose out from under their ponytailed leader.
After one of them on the way out poked the hill giant to wake them up and specifically attempt to incite mortal combat.
They're wild and crazy that way.
Yeah.
That did indeed happen.
Test their might.
They, you know what?
Morally speaking, the timeline is very important there. Mal was going to obey the orders of Watherin and allow them to leave.
Continue this. I need to fetch something from my room, which is a map.
And so, seeing the giants were awakened and hungry, Mal decided that the best course of action to stay the hunger of the giants was to feed them goose, and the best thing that needed to happen to Mr. We don't care about gender, Ponytail Goose Knight was to bring them in for questioning before Watherin. So Mal has
It's good
successfully.
for the goose. It's good for the
All right,
gander.
now I'll know where anything
Yeah.
is ever.
So Mal has blasted the goose out from underneath one of the 2 leaders of the Goose Knights, namely Ponytail. and has run over to the Goose Knight and is standing over them.
Nope.
Do any of them ride?
Or no, I'm still 30 feet away or something.
The Goose Knights are now 70 feet northwest of the bar. The ponytailed one is on foot by her dead goose, and the others are still in the air. Mal is charging toward them. He is currently 30 feet northwest of the bar, so 40 feet from them.
Strictly speaking, she should be 10 feet closer to me than the goose. Not to nitpick, but I did blow the
blasted
goose.
The goose.
The goose got blasted 10 feet farther away.
Yeah, she got blasted along with it.
Well, I thought the goose came out from underneath.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That too.
Okay, go ahead.
Body in motion.
These are like not incredibly precise. They're sort of general. We're trying to do theater of the mind. Mal is charging toward them. He's 30 feet northwest of the bar. Weatherin and Agang are in the bar at the west edge, next to the Hill Giants, who are 10 feet to the west of the bar. This is all happening about 150 feet north of where the Fujin's boats landed, where many of the sailors are milling around. They will have noticed the commotion, the same as you did, but you two were the first to approach the World's End Tavern. I'm going to roll an important d6 now.
And Matt, will you also describe a hill giant?
Oh, yeah. Hill Giants are like 12 feet tall.
Okay.
They are very large and powerful. They are not very smart. They're known to be very dangerous. They're the lowest of all the giants. They're stupid. Weatherin knows giant as a language, right?
Yeah.
So along with that comes a little bit of knowledge of giant culture, I would think.
Sure.
Which is that hill giants will obey any higher giant in the ordning, and that most other giants find them like despicable, stupid brutes. They mostly wander around trying to feed themselves without any kind of intelligence or goodwill. They're chaotic evil. Really, really dumb. They are just hulking brutes, extremely large and powerful.
Are they the large size category or a huge size category?
They are huge size category.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is that you hear a shout from your south. This is Weatherin and Malmer hear this, and it is the voice of Kyoko, one of the mates, and she's shouting, "You guys need any help up there? What's going on? Is there trouble?" We're in initiative, so I'm going in order.
Okay.
At that time, two of the Goose Knights land and sort of step protectively in front of the ponytailed one, in between her and Malmer. And the
now, wouldn't they need like time to get back before I got to the one that fell? Or are we still? We're in initiative, aren't we?
Yes, we're in initiative.
Okay. All right. So they're going. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
So on their turn, they have some movement that they can do, and
Gotcha.
they use that to
Circle
land.
around and
They're still on their geese, but they are sort of protectively in front of their leader, who's on foot, near her dead goose, with their sort of little lances, up and like ready, and they just land there. and just hang out protectively. And then the one with the ponytail has her turn, and she looks at you, Malmer, and she says, hold on, I have to get her accent. Now, we was trying to hand out a rough kind of justice, but if you back the Goose Knights up against the wall and make things serious, this thing ain't going to be over until one of us is dead.
What you call justice, I call the actions of petulant little children. Take responsibility for your actions if you want justice. You'll have justice
that you
from the
say
hill
on your
giants.
turn.
Oh, okay.
So then, one of the hill giants, we're going to call this one Hill Giant A, and the other one is Hill Giant B. And Hill Giant A, they're basically, well, they're not indistinguishable to you. This is the Lady Hill Giant. Weatherin, they're standing right by you.
Okay,
And you speak giant.
I do.
And the Lady Hill Giant, they've just sort of woken up, and she says to her companion in sort of rough colloquial giant, not the elegant giant that you would expect from the higher classes, but something that would translate as, I have pain from hunger, and I have pain in the head. You want to get alcohol for the head pain, or you want to get food for the stomach pain? What do you think? Is what she says to her companion. And then the other more well-armed of the Goose Knights flies his goose down fairly close to where he uses his movement to fly over to you. Mal. So he is within lance range of you, but he does not strike.
Okay.
So he's above you to where he's close enough that you could probably hit him with a weapon, maybe with a little extra difficulty, but he could dive bomb you very quickly.
Sure.
If provoked. Weatherin, it is your turn.
Okay.
You are standing just underneath what would be considered the bar, which is just underneath of the underneath of this roof.
Okay.
The giants are in front of you, about 10 feet away to your west.
And the
most recent thing that happened was that Agang tried to get you to help
move the barrel.
Move this barrel towards the giants.
It's like moonshine or some kind of whiskey or something.
Yeah, she's also got a really giant-sized funnel.
Okay. So the female has just asked the male hill giant what he wants to do, what he'd prefer. I think Watherin is. I guess I've just been helping carry the cask over, I guess, or something like that.
Yep.
Watherin says, he's going to cast command. This is where I get to speak a one-word command to a creature I can see. They have to make a wisdom saving throw or do the command.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to say to the male giant, drink in giant. Oops. Matt, did we lose you?
Froze for a moment. I'll be surprised if he doesn't come back in 5 to 10 seconds.
Matt.
Oh no.
It's a 7.
There it is.
Wait.
I'm guessing.
Okay,
that a
so
7
the
means
last
that
thing
they
that
do
we-
not succeed.
He rolled a 7. The giant rolled a 7?
Okay.
Okay, great.
The giant
That
rolled a 7.
that does fail.
Okay.
He needed a
So,
12.
how long does this command last?
Basically, you, the dungeon master, get to, or game master, whatever, get to interpret what happens with it, and it says the target succeeds in whatever. The spell has no effect if he succeeds, but
It's a 1-round duration.
yeah, duration 1 round. But he just basically obeys, like
Okay.
he does that.
Cool. Awesome. One of the other goose knights continues to circle above the others, neither landing nor particularly doing anything, just sort of staying in place and watching you, Malmer. Malmer, now it's your turn.
Mal is going to pull back to Wathrin and say, "What's your call? It's a fun little party here."
Okay.
And he's going to, as a bonus action, cast a spell. Actually, you know what? I think he's going to... Yeah, he's just going to pull back and hold tight.
I can't like meaningfully respond until my next turn, right? That would be like dialogue would be my action or something.
I mean,
Well,
we
that
can
talking
fudge it
was
a little
3.
bit.
Okay, but I can't
Yeah,
like
you-
explain a plan
Like
for
your bonus
20
action.
seconds.
But yeah, you can't take a long time to explain a plan.
Okay, well, I'm just going to assume that he says that approximately as I'm saying, issuing the command spell, and
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes before we discuss further.
Mm-hmm. Mal, you see the goose knights relax. Their very tense postures, sort of. One of them continues flying above. And the hill giant, the male hill giant, says to the female hill giant, does it? Oh, well. The male hill giant says to the female hill giant, "That one has a good idea. Let's drink." And boom, boom, goes over and grabs the barrel and, like, takes the top off and starts chugging. Nom, 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 nom. It is now, like, it has to sort of bend. It doesn't have to bend a lot. It has to duck a little bit to get under the roof. The roof is not super tall. But it Weather, and you're going to let it have the barrel, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's chugging from the barrel.
It probably, in order to chug, it probably took a step back out, not to be under the roof.
No, it wasn't. They weren't under the roof
Oh, okay,
at
got
any
it.
point. So it actually came towards you
Got it. Okay.
a little bit. The Goose Knights hold position, and the two of them that landed by their ponytailed leader start to, like, grab onto her and lift her up, hoping to, with their two geese, to be able to somehow fly together. I don't know yet if they're going to succeed in that, but they take their turns trying to get ready to be able to carry her off.
Like Jean-Claude Van Damme between two semis.
And she also takes her turn to hoist herself up and maybe use a rope or a leather thong or whatever to get herself situated on their geese. You hear another shout from below you to the south of you.
Oh.
And not below you, sorry. to the south of you, and this is Kalurk. Hey, is everything all right up there? And it's closer than the last shout that you heard, which was from Kyoko. Seems like some of your shipmates have heard the commotion and are on their way. The Lady Hill Giant steps forward, and Agang has another large cask ready for her and hands that up to her. And the Lady Giant also starts chugging this potent alcoholic beverage. And you can see Agang visibly relax. We had a real problem, but maybe it's fixed now. Let's sort of still wary, but not as scared anymore. Weatherin, your turn.
If they're chugging, and I guess they were already fairly inebriated, so Agang's hope is probably that they're gonna kind of pass out again or something like that. They were laying on the hill. I'm gonna tell Mal. It looks like they're satisfied with the drinks, and then call out to Kalurk and I forgot who.
Kyoko.
Yeah, Kyoko. The others who were saying just something like, looks like it's under control, but it was a little dicey there for a minute. Just let them know.
Malmer, if you have anything offensive you're going to do, we're currently still in initiative, so combat type actions are still
an option.
Easy to do without having to roll initiative again if you're going to do any of them, and it's your turn.
Mal is not going to intentionally stir the pot. He is going to walk over and snatch up the goose that he killed and bring it over to the giants.
So we're in initiative. Are you going to take the dash action to get all the way there?
And then move to get all the way back, yeah.
So that's happened. I thought that you said that you fell back and went over to Weatherin. But
yeah, how far away is he from the goose?
Fell back. Weatherin is 30 feet from you. So if you're where Weatherin is, you're 70 feet from where the Goose Knights are.
And once we get to theater mode, once we get out of combat, Mal's going to go over and get the goose and bring it over to the Hill Giants. Until then, he's going to wait until the Goose Knights have clearly pulled away, and moving in their direction is not a sign of trying to pursue combat.
Cool. Yeah, so things calm down. We're out of initiative. The Goose Knights are able to get away. They haltingly fly off through the air. They actually, one of them, this is the one with the big mustaches, flies way, way, way high up, maybe 100 feet above you. So he's almost like a speck. and you hear him shout dimly, "Give this to the priest." And a second later, something lands on the roof, donk, and dents it. And then the ghost knights all sort of fly off.
Can Mal make an athletics check to try to hop up there and see what it is?
Yeah, you don't have to make an athletics check because Agang and Weatherin can help you climb up there and get.
All right.
It's
I just wanted to get it quickly before he's 300 feet away, just in case it's,
Oh, if you want to do it very quickly, then yes, give me an athletics check to get up there super quickly.
It's an 18 plus 4 is 22.
Yeah, so you scramble up there super quickly and you grab the thing. Now you have it.
What is it?
You're going to take the time letting him get away to examine it?
Well, I mean, if I look at it, can I just look at it and see what object it is? Or is it inside a locked case or something?
Nope, it's a stone, and it's carved with it's got like one side of a face carved on it.
Okay, fair. All right.
That's what you know with the quick look that you can give it before he gets away.
Who said that?
One of the Goose Knights.
Gotcha.
Mustache and Ponytail were the leaders of the Goose Knights.
You have not been formally introduced. So they go by features that you know. Good. The next thing. Look at it more closely, and if you spend a little time looking at it, you'll see that this is a sending stone.
All right.
So it's able to convey brief telepathic messages, but only between it and its mate, which presumably one of the Goose Knights has. Fantasy cell phone, fantasy Twitter cell phone, because it's only short messages.
Yeah, Mal brings it over and shows it to Watherin. Hands it to him.
Watherin is unsure if he, a paladin of Oberon, is considered the priest. If he was talking about giving it to Fennetir or something, but he says, "Okay, great, thanks." And
I believe he means the priest Fennetir.
Cool. Then let's go talk with him whenever we see him next, and we'll figure that out. And Watherin kind of just fiddles with it for a minute, examines it, and sticks it in a pouch or pocket to give to Fennetir.
Agang says to you, Weatherin, "I don't know how I can repay you. We have a system for dealing with hill giants, and it's not as good as it could be. Thank you so much. You two, Mal and Weatherin, drinks are on me. As long as you're on the island."
Suddenly, Fennetir shows up out of nowhere from behind a tree.
That's right. He was reading lips. I tell her,
True.
"Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Sorry about the trouble, the chaos."
Yeah, my buddies coming over with some food for them on a boat. We're gonna lure them to another island, but that's well, there's no watch. She looks up at the sun. It's gonna be another hour or so till he gets here, and we're able to pull that one off. I'm hoping to be able to get all three of them off this island by tonight. You guys came at an inopportune time. But welcome. My hospitality, such as it is yours. And hold on 1 second. Where is my thing?
Mal says, I may have a way to keep them occupied for an hour. Do you have any sort of cooking facility here? And Mal's looking around. Is there obviously like a kitchen in the corner of this building?
Yeah, there's. I mean, not the
It's like a
building.
grill or
What's under
something.
the roof is just distillery stuff, but
It's
to
a
the
pavilion,
Mm-hmm.
right?
what?
No, it's a pavilion. No walls. Just a.
Right. So
and
it's easy to see
so
everything
to
in there.
protect the more sensitive distilling equipment, but all around outside is tons of junk of various kinds. So there are like iron grills and
Great.
cook fires set up and like spits where you could roast things. It's not a 5-star French restaurant, but there's rough and ready apparatus of all kinds for rough and ready hospitality lying around.
In that case, Mal's going to go over, grab the goose, and then say, Waithrin, you can understand these guys and speak to them, right?
Sure.
Do you mind asking him to hold tight for an hour while I whip up some, I don't know, goose appetizers or something?
And I ask
Goose frites.
Agang, right?
Mm-hmm.
Agang, you want us to feed him that goose? I mean, she knows what the Hill Giants. She knows what their plan is.
I mean,
Yeah, he was saying, Agang said that they were concerned about the next hour. So Mal is trying to
Sure.
make a play for keeping them occupied, something to look forward to.
I'm just making sure it doesn't run afoul of whatever they want, like getting them full, and the boat gets here and they're not interested in getting on the boat.
That a goose will fill them up.
well, and she kind of puts her
How
back
big is this goose?
so that they can't really hear her. Says, I was hoping that they were going to pass out, but if you want to get that goose cooking, it's not going to hurt. And if any of you want to rustle up some other kind of grub, do a little hunting,
Some grub worms.
I would not be opposed to that at all. We've got, elf food mostly, and they eat. Hill giants are incredibly ravenous. If you could find like a cow or a bear, that would be great. That's what my buddy's bringing. He's roasting a bear right now. So.
Okay. Well, great. So yeah, I say go for it, Mal.
Hey, Weatherin,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll me a d12.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot to get my dice out. Give me 1 sec. I got a 9.
Okay. Agang says, you know what? If I'll give you something in exchange for helping me out here. You get that goose cooking, and you're something special. You are able to. I can't control them, but I don't know what it is. And she goes back and she rummages in a big pile of stuff, and she comes out with and I don't even know what this is. What is this?
I don't know.
It's
Let's see.
an all power stone. Just kidding.
The potion that makes you better at making potions.
She comes back with a big clay pot.
Okay.
Weighs 10 pounds. She gives it to you, Weatherin. You're magic. I can tell. This thing's magic. I don't really have a use for it, but maybe it'll help you in your adventures.
All right.
And put into your inventory a pot of awakening.
Huh. Okay. Let's see.
So is that like a sativa or an indica?
If you plant an ordinary shrub in this 10-pound clay pot and let it grow for 30 days, the shrub magically transforms into an awakened shrub at the end of that time. When the shrub awakens, its roots break the pot, destroying it. The awakened shrub is friendly toward you. Absent commands from you, it does nothing.
Huh. That's weird, but great.
A baby Groot.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, adult group, more like
Weatherin
Juvenile.
thanks her and
teenage group.
straps it to his stuff and over his shoulder or whatever.
So things have quieted down. The rest of the sailors start appearing. You can see that Kyoko and Kalurk have got their stuff. Like Kyoko has a longbow that is very serious that she has brought from the ship, and Kalurk has got his cutlass, strapped to his back. They're not coming unarmed, and it seems that maybe they made a quick trip back to the ship to grab a few things before they came up here.
So Mal's cooking goose, prepping goose, plucking, gutting, spitting, roasting.
The rest
Goose
of the
bacon?
sailors say, "Oh, that smells good. When can we have some? When's it going to be ready?"
Who said that?
Some of the sailors.
Oh.
The giants have by now put down their current barrels and picked up other barrels and are getting through those at a pretty good clip.
Watherin is interested in, if people have arrived, in talking to Kalurk, and also, if there's a convenient opportunity, maybe killing a bear or something, killing some animal. For the
Don't you need like a bear badger or a blonde
we have a bat dolphin head. We
bat
need
dolphin?
Hold on, I have
A
written
badger
down.
bear badger.
Tentacle bear?
Tentacle bear?
I have it written down. It's not that. It's a
What did I say? I made it up.
Ha! Should have remembered.
it is
Using
a leopard
remember.
bear.
Leopard
Yeah.
bear.
Of course.
I basically got it right.
Yes, those might be found on these islands.
Okay. Cool. Well, is Kalurk around?
Kalurk is around.
Maybe I'll, sidle up next to him and say, "Hey, Kalurk, I have a question for you.
Hey, man.
Hey, I'm still, after we talked to the Catherine, I'm still interested in getting to Airy Mountain. But what's that? Oh,
You got it.
great.
Go on.
But while we're here, if there are any other Aarakocra around who can, give us some news, if you happen to see any, I'd love to talk with them as well. I'm really, really interested in Airy Mountain. I think there's something there that, one, I'd like to help there, but I think there might be something there that can help me too. And I'd like to just, if anybody's been there, let me know, please. In the meantime, by the way, if you want to help us on the trip, Oberon had a vision, and Oberon told me that a leopard bear would be really helpful if you want to go hunting or something. Sorry, can Aarakocra fly?
Yes.
Okay, I was assuming so, but then I realized, wait, I don't actually know that. I figure, ask him like, hey, can you soar around all bird-wise and look for a leopard bear? Or I don't know, whatever.
Kalurk says, yeah, sure, why not?
Cool. We got a few hours to kill. Well, good. So yeah, basically, I just want to look for some other Aarakocra that might have been to Air Mountain recently, and look for a leopard bear, or anything else, but preferably a leopard bear.
Cool. Kalurk sounds happy with that idea. I think he's convinced that this charm that you talk about is probably a real thing. So he flies off to scout for leopard bears. What you see next is the one of the giants, the female one, throws her barrel onto the grass and sways a little bit and says, "Ha ha ha! My head feels better now," and sits down and then lies down and goes to sleep. And the male hill giant is not too far behind in that process.
Good.
Mal creates a glaive and takes some of the feathers from the goose and ties them around the base of the blade so that it's a nice little ruffle of goose feathers around the base of the blade, where the blade meets the haft.
Creates a glaive. You mean you use your special warlock powers to whip it into existence? After only like 3 minutes, really short amount of time, Kalurk comes back to you and says, Weatherin, you're not going to believe this. The thing that you want, the leopard bear, I found one.
Oh, where? Great, where? Thanks.
But
man.
it's a little complicated because somebody else got to this one first, and it's a hill giant.
Ah,
I don't know if you saw the smoke over that way. And indeed, you had seen since even from a while back. There's a column of smoke coming up from part of the island, maybe,
sure.
eighth of a mile away, quarter mile away, pretty close by, not a long walk. And he says this hill giant is roasting one leopard bear on a spit. I think you could get the head off it, but I don't want to come between a hill giant and its meal, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So I don't know what you want to do, but there definitely is one.
I'll tell you what. If you want to help me carry one of these casks or some barrel or whatever, I'll ask Agang here if I can have one for over there to trade with the hill giant for the bear head, leopard bear head.
Agang is.
I don't mind buying it too. She doesn't want to draw more, I guess. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Agang sort of, when you request a whole barrel, sort of says, I mean, I know I said that drinks were on the house, but you're not going to drink all that yourself.
I tell her, no, actually, there's a giant over there that I want to just trade with, and I'm happy to buy the barrel, but...
Okay. Let me do just a little bit of research.
Sure.
Yeah, so she says, I guess normally I'd charge a little more, but for you, 3 gold.
All right.
For the barrel.
I appreciate that. And 3 gold's worth it to me, so I'm going to do that.
She gives you one of the barrels. Some of the sailors are like, what are you going to do with that? We were going to drink from that. And Agang's like, chill, I got more.
Cool.
Brings out another one.
So, yeah, is this carryable by one person, or is it more of a couple of people, or a roll it?
This is you could carry it on your own because you're a hero.
Fair enough. Watherin's not. He's happy to ask Kalurk.
Comfortably, it would be more comfortable. I mean, you're wearing armor that probably weighs the same amount as this. So.
Okay, great. Well, I'm happy to. If Kalurk wants to come, great. Otherwise, Watherin doesn't mind doing it by himself.
I mean, Mal's going with Watherin.
Oh, I thought you were cooking a goose.
I'll hand off cooking duties to one of the other sailors that I'm sure is hungry for goose and willing to take over the duties in exchange for being able to slice off little pieces of crispy goose flesh.
Sure.
There is definitely a sailor willing to do that.
Watherin is game, and just for the theater aspect to say, Watherin doesn't dislike Mal. He just is wary of him.
The sailor that you hand off the goose to is a certain goateed gentleman by the name of Aku.
Hey, I remember that guy.
Nice.
Looks at you winks at you, Mal, and says, I will cook this goose for you now, and maybe later you'll help me cook a different goose.
Oh,
Just
wordplay.
a little.
With a wink.
And a wink.
And Watherin is slowly making his way towards the hill giant when they're
They
It's like-
they both wink at the same time, so they don't notice
Right.
each of them winked.
Right.
Because they have that face blindness where they can only see half the face.
On our way to this next thing, I think what we are going to do is
We're going to hear about gravy.
and see what's been going on with gravy.
Excellent.
see what's cooking in the gravy pot, they say.
Ah,
Probably this will take a little while, and then we'll go on break, and then we will come back to this encounter with the hill giant. How long do you guys? Well, I guess you talked to Kalurk right away, and it took about. Yeah, I think Fennetir is not quite back yet when you guys head off.
Okay.
But
I would only expect it to take I mean, if he's an eighth of a mile, it's not like super far. We'd do it in half an hour or something.
Yeah, Fennetir has gone more deeply into the interior of the island than you guys will be going.
If Fennetir moves at the same speed as Dwight, we might see him tomorrow.
what are you saying?
He's saying you walk like a Texan,
So we're going to.
which I think is great.
It's important to walk like a Texan when it's hot.
It's important to walk like a Texan when you're not in a hurry. Where's the fire?
Up in the sky.
There you go.
Tashash,
Mm-hmm.
rewind to a couple nights ago.
Ooh, more universe-destroying paradoxes possible.
Yes, possibly. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think not. You have just leapt over the side of the ship into the cloudy sea. You hit the canopy,
Mm-hmm.
leave a hole as you fall through it. You hit one branch, you hit another, and you manage to grab onto it and come to a stop. It is strangely luminous with a light from below, a green light.
Mm-hmm.
Around you is all the hushed rustling of a forest. As far as you can see, there's nothing except you see a little ways away from you the large depression in the canopy made by the keel of the Fujin as it slides slowly past with a loud susurrus.
Do I hear any?
Exactly. There's the
Do I hear anything?
insects crawling and chirping. The sound of the trees creaking against one another as they shift subtly in the breeze. Time passes.
I don't, and I don't hear like anything indicating that anyone from the Fujin is coming after me.
You hear nothing.
Okay. Then after a couple minutes of watching the Fujin disappear, Tashash is going to travel as fast and as stealthily as he can in the opposite direction.
Okay.
He'll go for a couple hours. Once he's gone for a couple hours, he'll just start wandering, get real good and lost.
As you travel, you begin
Also do some stuff to, that would possibly drop any or throw off anything that might be following him.
You use some ranger craft.
Yeah, ranger craft. Also do some things to hide him from magical tracking.
Okay, like what?
Like he'll catch an animal and put some of his blood on it and send it running off some other direction.
Gross.
Away from him. Yep. But
effective if somebody's able to track you by means of your blood.
Or, any other bodily, whatever.
As you travel, you have felt fear before on the cloudy sea, and that same fear comes back to you. The fear that you felt when you were first lowered beneath it, you found out that there was no bottom to this world.
Ooh,
the fear that you felt at numerous times on board the ship when you were confronted by large empty holes that terrified you. As you go, sometimes there is nothing below you except the blue sky, and you're on a branch making your way onto another branch, and if you were to fall, that'd be it.
This is very difficult for Tashash because he yeah, like he left the Fujin because it didn't seem like a very safe place to be, and now he's off the Fujin and it doesn't seem like a very safe place to be. And so there's
not a safe place to be.
There's a part of him that is probably wondering, this might not have been such a good idea, but he's in it, so
that
he's probably just kind of trying not to think about that and just thinking about gotta keep moving. Yep.
This is eventually that divide in your consciousness between the fear and the part that says got to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
That grows, and the separation becomes more and more and less bearable.
Mm-hmm.
Until you find that you're not able to continue traveling anymore, and you're just clinging to the trunk of a tree.
Is there like a tree? Can I like find a hole in a tree or something? He's gonna look for a place to hide.
So actually, I mean, roll survival.
Yeah, he's gonna look for a place to hide. Yeah, like, I mean, hole in a tree would be great, but he's not picky right now. Let me just make sure.
Considering you're willing to put up with a literal crap hole, I would say that no, you're not too picky.
I still want to know why.
It's the bilge. That's not where people.
Yeah, people don't
do their business
poop on the ship. They poop off the side of the ship.
That's the scuppers where they do their business. I was hiding in the bilge.
I mean, there's not nice things in the bilge, but it's not literal waste.
It's not like crawling in a porta-john.
Dwight is correct, and when I described the Fujin to you, I did tell you where the crappers were, and that it's just a hole out through the bottom.
Nope, this is not a swamp. It's definitely not a swamp. Okay, survival. That's a 13.
Okay. Yeah, you find a hole in a tree, and when you
I'm gonna crawl in that hole in a tree.
crawl into it, the whole tree shifts in a really terrifying way, as though this one is not floating quite as well as the other ones.
I'm gonna stop moving. Does the tree stop moving?
The tree stops moving. It comes to
Okay.
a stop.
He's gonna crawl in the hole very slowly. Do I get in the hole?
You get in the hole.
Awesome. I'm gonna sit in the hole.
This is not a great strategy for dealing with your fear, because you now feel even more like your situation is even more tenuous than before.
Can I see another hole somewhere else that looks a little more sturdy?
Not from within the tree, you can't.
Well, I'm staying here.
Your terror begins to mount and to almost terrible, insane, unbearable levels. Your whole body is shaking.
Do I see a better option from where I'm sitting?
Not from where you're sitting.
I'm staying here.
Climb into a hole in a tree.
Yep, I'm staying in the hole.
This goes on for you don't know how long.
Nope.
And
A terrifying amount of time.
whatever the most terrifying amount of time is, that's the amount.
Feels like 100 years, but it's only 3 minutes.
That's exactly right. Suddenly, however, you are overtaken by a gigantic, calming presence. Your trembling subsides. It feels suddenly like, instead of being in a little piece of a tree that could drop and take you with it at any moment, like you're being upheld in the palm of the world's largest friendly giant.
I will
And
very slowly peek out of the tree and look down.
what you see when you look out of the tree is a small lizard of a species that you don't recognize. It darts out in front of you, and it's familiar. It's on 4 legs, but other than that, it looks pretty much exactly like you.
Ooh.
The scale color, the frill, the facial features, very much like yours, but tiny.
I'm gonna.
Mini-me, come to me. Come here, Mini-me.
Sink back into the tree.
It leaps onto the hole and looks down at you, and it says,
Come in, I say. It is not safe out there. And I reach out a hand. Should I make an animal handling roll?
no, there's no need.
Okay, I reach out a hand toward it, inviting it into the hole with me.
It stands on the edge of the hole and looks in at you and says, "Oh, my child," in a voice that is far too deep, resonant, and big to belong to such a tiny creature.
Oh, who
You're
are you?
a long way from home.
This is true.
I want
But
to
I
help
do
you.
not think I am your child. My sire is dead.
I speak in a metaphorical sense with which your shamans ought to be familiar.
I am a ranger.
I wish to offer my help to your people. Make a real easy religion check. because the god wants to be understood.
I made a 4.
How
Did I
easy
fail,
was it?
Matt? Did I fail?
Okay. I want to help
Oh.
your people, says the
Why?
mysterious god who you are unable to identify.
Why
But
would you do that?
my ways are no. Let me put it this way.
Okay.
Do you know of a game called chess?
No.
Are there games that involve game pieces among your people? Wait. The god doesn't say that. Are there any games that involve like moving pieces around on a board among the lizard people?
No, not really.
They don't have that.
No.
Are there any activities undertaken to train in strategy?
Yeah, I mean they're probably like I mean they're like war games or just training exercises, hunting, lots of hunting. Hunting's probably the most common.
Is there anything that's like abstracted the way a game is?
Nope.
Or is it just actual hunting to train for strategy?
Actual hunting. I would say almost all of their training is going to be like practical training.
Okay.
And they might, and then they would use, like when they're as rangers or doing whatever, fighting or whatever, they'll use the same principles that they acquire, from the things that they learn.
You sense the gigantic presence reaching sort of into the history and culture of your people.
Is this the lizard? Is the lizard the giant? Do I know that they're the same thing?
It's speaking with this voice, and you sense that it is the source of the power that you're dealing with.
I'm going to interrupt it. You sound very big, but you look very small. Are you sure you fit inside there?
One of many things that you will learn is the use of symbolism. There is a conflict, and I wish to have a representative, a seat around the campfire, if you will, where those making decisions speak with one another of the hunt. You will be my representative, if you wish.
Do you know? Tashash suddenly appears to light up, as if something something very important has occurred to him. Oh, I have a question.
Ask.
There is a star in the sky to the west, and I describe, and then I because Dave the player can't remember all the details off the top of his head. Anyway, so he goes on and describes it and tells everything about, basically recounts all the details of his quest and journey. And tells him and gives tells the creature, the thing, who Nebulaster is, and explains all that. And then he says, Can you tell me, do you know, I was sent to speak with this Nebulaster, but do you know anything about this star? What is it? Can you tell me these things?
Tashash. He
I
says
was
your full
very-
name, but I don't.
Yeah.
He says your full name, and he says,
This catches Tashash's attention.
I wish to give you many things. The solution of your quest is the least of the great gifts that I have for your people, which I will give them through you. You must agree to it, and it will not be comfortable. It will be painful and difficult.
I need to find out what this star is. Can you help me?
My servant, Nebulaster, will be most willing to tell you. And this is the least of the things that I will do for you. Join me.
And you will.
I will not take a profit unwillingly, but my patience grows thin. You must answer me. Will you join me or not?
My task is to find out about this star. I will follow you. If there is something you would have me do in exchange for this information, I will do it. Or if you will take me to Nebulaster, I will follow you. My task is to find out about this star. And my bond is to my kinsman. These things I will not break.
Your bond to your kinsman is what I am using to manipulate you.
At this,
Now,
at the word manipulate, Tashash's frill goes stiff. And his eyes narrow. I wish to go to the giant. Will you take me there?
Lizard Man, I am the great god Palor, ruler of giants, creator of many things in this world, worshipped by many humanoids throughout this world. And if I give you a promise that my servant Nebulaster will tell you what you seek, should you follow me, I will keep it. And what is more, I promise you many other things beyond which will be of great benefit to your people. Yes or no?
I have told you my bond and my task and what I will do and what I will not do. What
I will not
he pauses for a minute and then says, "What do you answer?"
I do not ask you to break your bond with your kin. I wish to help your pathetic people. This is the first thing I said to you. Are you so dense? I wish to help your people through you. Give yourself to me.
And you will take me to the giant.
Almost immediately.
If you will do this. And then he cocks his head to the side. What is it you want me to do? Have you said? I am very confused. You say many strange, vague and strange things. What is it you want me to do? I am confused. You are very confusing.
I want you to become my follower.
And you will lead me to the giant.
I have said so 3 times.
I will follow you to the giant.
The enormous presence laughs and says, I'll take it. The tiny lizard leaps at you and sinks its teeth into your hand.
Ah! I throw it out out of my hole in the tree.
You suddenly see yourself from the tiny lizard's perspective as you sail out through the hole of the tree.
Uh-oh.
And you appear huge.
Wait.
Tashash.
Wait. Oh dear.
If
What am I
Tashash could be any kind of dinosaur, what would it be?
I don't know.
Allosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Hadrosaurus, Plesiosaurus, Stegosaurus, Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Brontosaurus.
Probably not a plesiosaur. Not very practical out here.
None of them are practical out here. Actually, I don't think you can have the small ones.
Pompey.
Allosaurus is too small. It has to be a big dinosaur. No velociraptors. Size large or bigger.
Size large or bigger? Oh man, I mean, I don't know.
You mean size huge or bigger?
Interesting.
Do I need to, look
Velociraptors
up
are actually very
dinosaurs?
small. In Jurassic Park, they
I'm not sure what he would be.
Velociraptors.
Like, honestly, I don't know.
Our opening scene with you is with a Pachycephalosaurus.
If you're asking me what he would want to be, he has no preference.
Okay.
What would Dave want him to be?
Yeah, what would Dave want him to be?
That's I don't know that that's particularly relevant.
Our opening
But it
scene
is a
was
question that has been asked to Dave.
our opening scene was with Pachycephalosauruses, so we know that he's familiar with them.
That seems relevant. He might go with whatever's most familiar. He also might go with something. I mean, he also might go with something big because it might make him feel safe. Or he might go with something with wings. I don't know.
Quetzalcoatlus is the biggest flying one.
Brontosaurus with wings. Can I be a Brontosaurus with wings?
Not be.
The biggest thing with wings that you can be is a Quetzalcoatlus. It's basically a giraffe with wings. And then the biggest dinosaur you could be would be like an Ultrasaurus or a Supersaurus. And then you'd be like 300 feet tall or something.
You cannot.
I think he would feel. I mean, like this is like digging very deep into his psyche, but I think he would feel safe being able to fly out here. So he's probably like
Yeah, the flying dinosaurs are not available to you for this. Sorry.
oh well. Probably I mean I guess just size then. Big. Would or well, I don't
Perfect.
know.
So
I
one of
don't
the
know. Whatever.
sauropods, one of the
Yeah.
four-legged, long neck, long
It's
tail.
easiest if we pick something that D&D 5th edition already has rules for.
Sure.
So
This is guide to
Brontosaurus is one.
Brontosaurus.
Dinosaurus.
They are quite powerful too. What do you think, Brontosaurus?
Sure, why not?
You mean Brachiosaurus?
Brontosaurus. That's what the listing,
Brontosaurus.
that's what the D&D Beyond listing is. Dinosaur.
They brought
I've
him
got a-
back.
I've got a Brachiosaurus in D&D Beyond. Weird. Okay.
Dinosaurus.
I have a
Oh, there's
Brontosaurus.
a Quetzalcoatlus in the Volus's guide.
He just said that you weren't allowed to be one of the.
okay.
yeah.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah, it had wait, is it huge?
Brontosaurus is gargantuan.
AC 15, 121 hit points. Stomp, tail.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm?
You can choose to be a Quetzalcoatlus if you want. It is huge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he'll probably do that then.
Okay.
He looks at himself and says, "What have I become?"
You watch the lizard grabs onto a branch as you flung it out of the hole, and it grabs a branch and it watches. You watch.
Oh.
Fee, fi, fo, fat. Hasha, washa, wofa, fat.
Here we are. I'm back.
You promise?
You see the body of Tashash inside of this old dead tree, which is only being kept up in the forest by its intertwining with living trees. You see Tashash's body start to change shape, and you hear the enormous voice laugh again and say, "Ho, ho, ho, ho. Karen's not the only one who can do this trick." And you explode the tree from within.
Yeah.
And the Tashash has become an enormous winged dinosaur. Which just falls, twisting, no longer upheld by the tree.
I have wings, right?
You cannot move your body, and you are outside of your body now, watching from the perspective of the lizard as it just falls. It's just too heavy. This gigantic dinosaur
falling.
The gigantic dinosaur is too heavy for the forest to support. You fall out of the bottom into empty space. Your consciousness zips back into your body, and you are looking up at the cloudy sea from below. And as you continue to fall, unable to control your limbs,
I will let out a primal yell.
You are not able to.
Oh, nuts.
You're trapped within this strange body.
I will silently let out a primal yell.
You look up at the world above you. It's beautiful with the sun shining on it from below. You see things
Tashash does not care, though. He's panicking now.
you never could have imagined. These things that you see,
He doesn't like falling.
you may forget because
Just
of your panic what you
freaking
see,
out.
but
I
for an
don't-
instant,
Nope, doesn't even register. Falling is bad. Falling is real bad. Just, oh.
You muted yourself, Dave. Oh.
You can't. He has to unmute himself.
For an instant, you glimpse something unimaginably huge, like a cross between a dragon and a turtle, above you on the bottom of the world.
That is going to make him feel worse.
Tashash, you have a psychological experience. I will describe it to you. You're no longer aware of your body, but you are aware of your thoughts, and they're very, very different. It's like you're outside of your thoughts before, right now. Whereas before, you've always been inside your thoughts. It's almost like you've become two people, and one of them is thinking about things, and the other one is thinking about things, which is not an experience that you're used to. You interpret this as death. At this moment, you die. You decide and are convinced that you have died. You're outside yourself after all. And what is that but death? You feel your fear disappear entirely, because what do the dead have to fear? A dead lizard can wait in a tree as long as he needs to. Dave, you should make note of this. Your character, Tashash, undergoes the following 3 changes. He now has an indefinite madness condition. It goes like this. I am dead already.
I don't know how to, is this just something I write in my notes, or is this something that...
Write this down in some way, put it on your character sheet or somewhere where you can keep track of it.
Okay. All right.
There's a notes section on the character sheet.
Okay, so this is...
So spells that can cure madness conditions would be able to cure this. But it's not a temporary madness condition. It's of indefinite duration.
Okay.
And the way that madness condition is expressed is, I am dead already. Also, for as long as this madness condition is present, your fate disposition changes as well to this. I'm going to read you the text.
Okay.
My fate has already befallen me, and it wasn't that bad. But I still have work to do for my people.
Really?
My fate has already befallen me, and it wasn't that bad, but I still have work to do for my people. Furthermore, here's the third thing. You now have a lycanthropic curse, which you should consider maybe a blessing, since it was imbued by a god, a good alignment god.
Hold on just a second. I'm trying to write all this down. Okay, and then I have a lycanthropic curse.
Yep. We're going to have to come up with what your in-between form looks like. But if you read the rules for werewolves, it will explain basically how this works. Things like werewolves, were-rats, were-whatevers, were-snakes or whatever.
Were-quetzalcoatl.
You are a were-quetzalcoatlus.
Okay. Quetzal.
I don't know whether we should consider it a curse. Usually lycanthropy is a curse, but it comes from a god, so we could also consider it a blessing. And I'm willing to... If there are rules that say things about blessings or curses, either of them could apply to this if you wanted to. And we will have to come up with what your... all these were creatures have a a human state, and then they have a humanoid state, and then they have a fully beast state, and then they have like an in-between state. We're gonna have to come up with stats for your in-between state.
Mhm.
But there you go. You are a were Quetzalcoatlus now. You also have agreed to follow the god Palor.
That's debatable.
You have some kind of agreement with the god Palor.
Okay, we can work with that.
You wake up. You well, the only things that have happened according to the rules are the 3 changes I've described. So Tashash still has whatever loyalty to his kin, and whatever he's not he hasn't we haven't made any change to him that would compel him on an emotional or logical level to follow the god. Right. Yeah, no, that's a real change.
I would.
The god did
So
that to you.
can I dispute the it wasn't that bad part? I don't believe Tashash would agree with that.
Can we change it? We could change it to my fate has already befallen me, and yet I'm still here.
That works.
But I still have work to do for my people.
Yeah, that works.
Sure. You wake up, you are lying on something hard and smooth, like carved marble. You haven't opened your eyes yet, but you're in control of your body, and it is your normal body, the body that you're used to, not the Quetzalcoatlus body. You feel a heavy weight around your neck, like a thick metal necklace. And you also, as you open your eyes, but there's like stuff in them and you don't really see where you are yet, but stretching and moving a little bit, you feel there's a kind of webbing the same color as your frill. It's not all the way, your arm is not completely a wing, but like there's a little bit more armpit there than there would normally be. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
You've got a little armpit webbing,
Mm-hmm.
like a duck's foot, or like
Right.
the beginnings of a wing. That's just
Right.
like part of normal Tashasha's body now.
I mean, normal Tashash's body.
We are going to go on
Didn't
our
have
10-minute
webbing.
break. We will be back at 9:20 with the remainder of the episode.
All right. We're in.
What's up? Welcome back.
I'm hard.
Yes, sure. What I want to do here, real quick, is we're going to fudge things just a little bit. And while you guys are going towards where the smoke is coming up,
Okay.
our clerk says that there is a leopard bear. Sorry.
I thought that was an audio glitch.
Our clerk says that there's a leopard bear. You're walking towards that, Weatherin and Malmer.
Okay.
As you draw closer to